We've got Elio Motors. Paul is joining us. They're doing amazing. You guys debuted at CES. You've taken 41,000 pre-orders. You are from Phoenix, Arizona. I like that. It's nice warm weather. It would have been great to get out there in the cold weather here in the winter to get out to you. You're providing a lot of jobs. You have a great story, and you have a really new vehicle that a lot of people are really excited about, including me. CNET at CES gave you rave reviews and said you were one of the top 10 most talked about things at CES. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm very happy for you, and I'm very excited about all this. Tell me about Elio Motors and what you guys are working on.
So, you know, what motivated the project is we need to use less oil, right? Whether your big concern is our trade deficit due to foreign oil or our carbon footprint, the answer is use less oil.
I agree with you 100%, except for when I get in a Porsche Turbo S or a McLaren, but no, I agree with you 100%.
Well, and that's the concept of Elio. It's an and vehicle, right? So I think the best analogy is Sony Walkman. It was a radio, right?
Absolutely.
And when it came out, it did not obsolete home stereos. So, you know, we were at a home stereo show and we brought our Walkman, right? This is an and vehicle. So it gets 84 miles per gallon.
Wow.
Engineered to the highest safety ratings. Built in Shreveport, Louisiana with 90% North American content and sticker prices for $6,800.
$6,800?
Yes.
This is unbelievable.
And it's both those put together. $6,800 by itself is impressive, 84 by itself is impressive, but when you put it together,
yeah.
So we buy large vehicles for a reason.
Wait.
Yeah,
$6,400 in 1972, right?
No, $6,800 today.
Today, $6,800 today?
Yeah.
Plus inflation from 1972.
No.
$6,800? No wonder you sold 41,000 already. $6,800 and you've got an Elio Motors car.
Right.
Vehicle.
Right.
Wow. That's unbelievable. And it's 84 miles to the gallon.
Right. And the secret to that is we see two occupants front to back instead of side by side. Wow. Right. All of your fuel, most of your fuel at highway speeds goes to moving air. So there's no flux capacitor here. It's a normal gas internal combustion engine.
There's no flux capacitor. We're not going back in time. We're just going back in chairs.
Yeah.
Very cool. Can you put one in for fun though, a flux capacitor?
Yes.
Do you know what my wife gave me for my birthday? This is great.
What's that?
My wife Jill, I love her very much, and she actually wrote me a nice note yesterday while I was on air saying that I looked very nice, which I appreciate. I try hard for the viewers to look nice. She gave me a flux capacitor cigarette lighter charger for my phone. So you put it in the cigarette lighter, you can plug your phone in and charge it, but meanwhile it's a flux capacitor, and then you can push a button and the LEDs light up, and it's so much fun. Yes.
Nice.
So you're doing this with, you do need one.
Yeah.
You're doing this without a flux capacitor,
right?
And you're getting 84 miles to the gallon. Literally, there are obviously a lot of other tricks, but by putting one passenger behind the other, or one traveler behind the other.
Yeah, no, there aren't a lot of other tricks. So it's a normal gas engine. It was developed for us by IAV.
Okay.
IAV does all the engine development for Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Bentley, Bugatti, and us. So they did the Veyron engine.
Sure.
Ours won't be as fast.
Yeah.
It'll be just as good, but not as fast.
1,000 horsepower, 1,100 horsepower? No. What are we talking horsepower-wise?
55 horsepower.
Okay.
55 foot-pounds of torque.
And how fast is this? Something I can take on the highway with 55 horsepower?
Yeah. So 0 to 60 in 9.6 seconds. So we're faster than most of the C segment guys.
Okay.
Top speed of 107 miles an hour, so you can get a healthy ticket.
Wow.
You know.
Oh yeah. I could get my license revoked.
Yeah. It's a real vehicle.
And what about
3 airbags, 2 seat belts, electronic stability control, anti-lock brakes, air conditioning, power windows, power door locks. It's a real vehicle.
How is it though? Because it's narrower, which is the trick. Is it top heavy? Like, do you worry about it tipping?
No. So it's front engine, front wheel drive. So 70% of your mass are sitting over those front two wheels, which is very stable. Mm-hmm. We have a low center of gravity, right? Where we have about the same clearance as a Mustang. So it sits low, but not Corvette low.
Okay.
You know, so wide stance, low CG. Front wheel drive. It's very stable.
I like this. Now, are there doors on both sides so I could get in on either side?
Nope, it's a one door.
One door.
A second door costs several $100s, and there's no reason for it.
Exactly.
It's no different than any other coupe to get in the back seat.
How many gallons will it hold? Like, how far could I go? Could I go to DC from here?
Yes. So 8 gallons of gas, which is 670 miles.
670 miles on 8 gallons of gas. My car currently takes about 12, and I can't make it all the way to DC without filling up. We're not even 300 miles away.
Yeah, you can go there and back.
Right.
So, my standard line is it goes further than your bladder will endure, right?
Well, that is for sure.
Other constraints will come
into
play.
We have cup holders?
Yes,
Bluetooth?
absolutely. Yes.
And stereo, I imagine. Air conditioning?
Yep.
$6,800. I feel like we're going back to the 70s, and I need to ask if it has air conditioning.
No,
but it has it.
So, but we did abandon the package system. So that's all the content, right?
Okay.
So the problem with the package system, and part of the reason cars cost so much, is you get forced to buy a bunch of stuff you don't want to get the stuff you do want.
I want the heated steering wheel. I don't care about the moonroof.
Right. So we're not packaging things. We add, all of our content is designed to be put on post-manufacture. So if you want a power leather seat instead of the manual cloth that comes standard.
You're doing it at the dealership.
Well, kind of in between. We have marshaling centers in between the factory and the dealership.
That's an interesting concept.
And so you go in and you tell us what you want.
Yeah.
That order goes to the marshaling center. We add the content.
It's almost like the IKEA of cars, except somebody's building it for you.
Yeah, and then with that number of marshaling centers, we're within 9 hours of all of our stores. So at 10 o'clock the next day, you get the vehicle exactly the way you want it the day before. The next day? Yes.
I feel like this is the Amazon of cars.
And then for service, we've partnered with Pep Boys. So we have 800 authorized service locations day one.
Wow. So, okay, I go into the dealership. Can I buy it online too?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say I go into the dealership and I say, and so all these options, so what comes standard?
Power windows, power door locks, air conditioning, and a stereo.
Okay, Bluetooth?
Yes.
Okay. And then what can I add post manufacture, but before it gets to the dealership?
So blind spot detecting mirrors. So Continental is our supplier. They're the world's largest electronic supplier. You can get those. Power leather seat, lighted vanity mirror. Any upscale content you're used to seeing. We have 34 of the world's best and biggest suppliers on board. They supply all the content to the other guys. So anything you see other places, you can get on your Elio.
And it's all warranted by you guys and backed by you guys because it's been installed by a certified installer.
Right.
Now, let's say I want everything. I want it all. Oh, sunroof, is that an option?
Yes.
But that's not at the
marshaling center.
It's at the marshaling center.
Yes.
All right. So let's say I want everything, every single feature you guys offer. How much is that going to cost me?
Well, one, I don't think you can do that because there's going to be competing options.
Really?
And two, it's constantly increasing. So our vision is this is an operating system, and these options are apps. Right?
I like this.
So every 100 millimeters or 4 inches on the upper rails and lower rails, it goes blind structural nut, PowerPoint, blind structural nut, PowerPoint. What are they all for? We have no earthly idea, but the American entrepreneur will figure it out for us. Right?
This is like
so we're inviting people to come in, create content for this vehicle. We're going to make a rock solid operating system, the base vehicle I just described, and then content will constantly be getting added.
Can I throw a supercharger in?
Yes, not from the factory yet, but it's an obvious thing. So the turbo, everybody's planning for. So Kamal's our manufacturing partner. They're wholly owned by Fiat Chrysler. And when they showed me the engine machining line, they said, we left a hole here in case you want to add a turbo. It doesn't cost you anything to leave a hole. IAV, I know there are people that work at IAV who are working on the turbo option. It's not sponsored by IAV or Elio. They're just doing it on their spare time because they're excited about it. So I think that a supercharger or a turbo will eventually work its way in.
Turbo is my next question.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what? But like, my head is like spinning. So okay, like a really well-equipped car, how much is that going to cost?
Like I said, I have no idea. So,
the marshaling, from you, like right now, if I said I want the sunroof,
we're doing our business differently. So we're not going to jack you on the options. So I love Costco, right? They have a percentage. They mark everything up. I know it's fair, so we're doing the same thing. So we're marking all of our options up 20%.
20%?
Yeah, so instead of 5 or 6x.
So literally, could I buy it direct and cut the 20% out if I wanted and then install it myself?
No, so you'll, because we're going to make money on the options, right? So we're going to make our percentage.
Yeah. But I'd rather that, because I can't, I've said this a million times this week, I cannot put anything together myself.
And the other thing is if you decide on an option after you bought the car, Pep Boys can install it.
Really?
You can buy it there and install it there, right? So a guy that works for me bought a minivan and didn't get the backup camera.
Oops.
3 weeks later, he's like, man, I'm really disappointed. And now he's either got to spend $9,000 in depreciation trading his minivan for another one, or live with it for 5 years.
Or get an aftermarket one where the cables run over the ceiling and down, and the kids trip on it, and the thing, and then the rain gets into the car, and you know how that is. You remember when people would chop their tops off because they wanted a convertible?
Yeah.
And then the car, you get in there. You remember this? You'd get in somebody's car, and they'd be like, it'd be raining. They'd be like, sorry, it leaks. What? It's not a real convertible. I had it chopped. Why would you do that? But
So-
then they were like, hey, I put a sunroof in, same thing. Or they like, oh, hey, I wanted to have a cell phone, so I had the antenna stuck right here in the beginning of cell phones, right?
Right,
Car phones.
right.
And then it would leak, and you're like, what are you doing? And then it screws up the whole other electronics. Yes,
Right.
this is brilliant.
And so, and the other thing is because people constantly creating content, every
Yeah.
6 months or so you can spin by and say, what's new for my Elio?
And I don't have to buy a whole new Elio.
No, you can just get the latest thing. And the same thing with the electronics. So we're offboarding the electronics.
Yeah.
Integrating electronics makes no sense to me because the useful life of a car is very long and cycle times for electronics is very fast.
Right.
By the time a car is 3 years old, all the electronics are obsolete. You have this $60,000 used car, and you're dissatisfied with it because the nav system's terrible.
You are basically changing and shaking up the auto industry. You're realizing some of the issues with it, and you're making changes to it. And I really like that, and I really like how you're reinventing the way we do things, and you're giving people the options to do things. Talk about the business model from a business standpoint. Are you guys? Because I love the entrepreneurism of this too, right?
Right.
Are you guys privately funded or publicly funded?
Yes. So,
yes.
so up to this point, it's been privately funded.
Yeah.
We have done crowdfunding, so we've been taking reservations for about 2 years. So that's
crowdfunding.
Yeah, that's what the reservations are.
Do you have an Elio Motors car yet? Like one that you've driven or you drive
yeah,
every day?
it's downstairs if you want to go see it.
I do want to go see it.
So,
but I mean, you drive one?
No, that's just a show property.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we go into production first half of 2016.
Okay.
But we've done crowdfunding. We didn't do it through a website. We did it through our own website. We've taken 41,000 reservations.
That's amazing.
We believe we're the second most successful crowdfunding project ever. Right? There's a lot of passion behind this
project. So what
project.
was the total? 6,800 times.
No. Well, the average reservation is about $400. So it's about $17 million so far raised.
Wow. I think that might be the most successful. What was the Pebble Watch? Was it 10 million?
The first one, they did a second Pebble Watch that raised 20.
It did.
But if you look at products sold, we have $280 million worth of products sold, over $250 million of product pre-sold.
Wow.
Right? So the capital markets are broken for a project like this, right? You have the VC types who are okay with pre-revenue startups, but they want to spend a few $1 million on a couple guys in a garage to create Facebook.
Right.
So they hate the number of zeros I'm carrying around.
Of course.
You go to the private equity guys, they're comfortable with that number of zeros, but they hate pre-revenue.
Right.
And both of them, because of the concentrated wealth, they specialize, right? They get good at something. We invest in cell towers. We invest in social media.
And starting a car company, it's an enormous undertaking. The marketing dollars alone, the manufacturing, the tooling costs. So what you're saying basically is that, and I'm well versed on this, so I'm going to explain to the audience a little bit in case they maybe don't follow it. Basically, pre-revenue companies can be okay for private equity, but they want to see some revenue, and it's hard to get to that revenue without having a product, and you don't have something you have something tangible, so you need to create the product.
Right.
The VC guys are the exact opposite. They're okay, they want you to. They don't care if you have no revenue, but they need you to have a product and a quick path so that they can sell in 2 to 3 years for 10 to 15 times their investment.
Well, and they don't like this number of zeros.
Right.
The project's just too big for VCs.
Right, they like a $10 million range.
Right.
I think
this is a $300 million project, right? So so they have to step out of their box two ways, right?
You're like Tucker. Did anybody say that to you yet?
A few times. So
hopefully we have a different fate.
I think we will. I think we're over the hump.
Well, because one thing, you've got the crowdfunding, you've got the crowd behind you, and they're invested.
Well, and the Jobs Act now allows equity crowdfunding, right? So we can do a general solicitation. Now you have to be a accredited investor, meaning you make $200,000 a year, or you're worth $1 million without your home.
You got blue sky laws that protect investors. Yep.
So we are going that route, and today we're announcing the show that we partnered with a brokerage house here in the area. It's called Network One. Okay. So now you have a live broker to talk to about this investment, right? And the public gets this project. You know, we sidestep the issues in VC and private equity by democratizing the investment. And it's a really cool investment because we bought all the equipment down at the Shreveport site. It's 4 million square feet.
And you're creating American jobs in America, American manufacturing.
90% North American content.
90% North American content, and you're innovating.
Yeah.
I love this. So you're ready to take investments from the general public.
Well, no,
As
from
long
accredited investors.
I was going to say
Okay.
that. As
Yeah.
long as they're accredited investors,
Yep.
you're able to take an investment dollar from them. So that's great. So America can fund this as well, the crowdfunding model. So
Yep.
the crowdfunding model before is you donate money, and at a certain level you get a t-shirt, at the next level you get a CD and a t-shirt, at the next level you get a poster,
Right.
then maybe you buy a full car. And then after that, you just get nothing. You just keep accumulating. Maybe it's 2 cars, maybe it's a car and a t-shirt. But you're not getting equity in the company, and
Right.
you're an early adopter. You're not getting rewarded for that.
Right.
This is an opportunity to actually take a little bit of risk on, but get rewarded as an investor, as somebody who believed in it early on. Now, you're not going to get a free car because it's not going to be free. You were buying it before.
Right.
You're not going to get a free t-shirt, but you're going to be able to invest in it. And that's what the Jobs Act did, and I like that. I think it's something that was needed and important. And I'm glad that we took some time to get there, because otherwise we would have had mayhem
Right.
with the way crowdfunding is, because crowdfunding is still a new idea.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been around for 5 years, but only meaningfully in the last couple, right? It
Yeah.
takes a while to catch on.
I love this
So-
idea, though, and I really like the idea of the car. Have you crash tested any yet?
So we've done extensive simulation, which is what you do whether you're the big guys or us.
Sure.
Our engineering source is Altair Engineering. They actually write the software that every single OEM uses to do that work. So they're pretty good at using it.
Excellent.
The next step of the project, what this round of funding that we're doing right now does, is buys us 25 prototypes that we'll sadly destroy. You know, front, side, and rear impact, durability, all those kinds of testing. So that's the next thing to do. But we've gone as far as we can virtually, and now it's time to go crash some.
I love this. Can we swap out the engine or add more horsepower?
I haven't got. We're just working on the basics right now. You know, getting the first vehicle off the line in a quality manner. You got to put blinders on, and nothing else matters.
I got you, because I could distract you all day. I could
Yeah.
also talk to you all day, but unfortunately we've got to go. Thank you so
All right.
much for your time. ElioMotors.com.
Yes.
ElioMotors.com, and you could be an investor, or you can buy a car. That's amazing. 41,000 pre-orders, unbelievable. I got to thank Paul for joining us. This is a great story. We got to continue to follow it on BeTerrific, and that's what we bring you, great stories and great storytelling to inspire you. This is inspiring. He's changing the auto industry as Elio Motors. It's unbelievable, and I'm so happy to bring this story to you. We have a lot more here, live from the New York Auto Show, your live continuing BeTerrific coverage of the New York International Auto Show 2015 on BeTerrific. I'm Michael Artsis. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back right after this.